Delivery numbers are in for EV vehicle producers in China, and NIO has the highest market share at 23%, beating out Tesla, Li Auto, XPeng, all other EV makers. And this is significant because there's over 500 EV makers in China now, so the competition is getting fierce, but NIO is solidifying itself as a prime leader in the field. So we're going to take a look at that, what it implies going forward, as well as take a look at the Tesla delivery numbers, XPeng and Li Auto, as well as NIO, and take a look at the technical analysis because we are bouncing off of a key level, and I do think we should talk about it here on the channel. But first, guys, the most important thing of all, I need each and every single one of you guys to tickle, tap, touch, or smash the like button until it turns blue, and hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with all of these videos as soon as they are posted. Thank you for those of you guys that went ahead and did that. Now let's get into it. Once this news came out yesterday, NIO was an outperformer in the EV sector. They were up about 8.5% for the day and getting some real steam throughout the whole entire day. So this is definitely good to see if you're a NIO shareholder. I was hoping that it would come down a little bit so I could get some cheap shares, but they definitely did outperform, and they are solidifying their place in the EV market in China, which is huge, and that is why they outperformed all the other EV stocks. Now let's take a look at what actually happened and what the delivery numbers were. This article reads, NIO grabbed 23% share of China's all-electric SUV market in April, ahead of Tesla's 17%, and that is part why NIO did outperform even Tesla and every other stock, just because the numbers were so good. And it says NIO grabbed the largest market share in China's all-electric SUV market in April, higher than its US-based rival Tesla, according to China Automotive Technology and Research Center data. What happened? NIO grabbed 23% electric SUV share in April compared to Tesla's 17% reported. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I've read that like 3 times. NIO clocked a total of 7,404 SUV sales in April, with the ES6 model selling the most at 3,302 vehicles. EC6 sales were 2,484 units, and ES8 sales at 1,618 units. The report said XPeng Inc. made up for 7% of all electric SUV market in the month. Now, it does go on to say that Elon Musk-led Tesla sold 5,520 Model Ys in April. The Tesla's April sales of 25,845 were down 27% from March, down more than the overall EV market, which saw a smaller 12% month-on-month decline. Of these, Tesla shipped out 11,671 units in the country, implying that most sales in April were exports. And this is probably why Tesla has been just selling off so much, down 27% from March. So this next quarter for Tesla is probably not going to be a good one. Says why it matters. The sales numbers come at a time when automakers are facing semiconductor shortages. NIO has already warned the shortage could hit its second quarter sales. NIO had to halt production at its Hefei manufacturing plant for 5 working days starting March 29th. We already knew that. In addition, Tesla has been facing rough weather in China, a market that contributes nearly 30% of the electric vehicle makers' global sales, and it is its second highest market after the United States. XPeng registered 285% year-on-year gain, but still way less than the amount of vehicles NIO produced. In April, they delivered 5,147 EVs compared to NIO's over 7,000 EVs. I think the clear winner here is going to be NIO, but XPeng is also doing phenomenal. Now, what is super surprising is that Li Auto actually delivered more vehicles than XPeng, so I was very surprised to see this, and Li Auto delivered 5,539 vehicles, whereas XPeng only delivered 5,147 units. But I do think this rise and increase over the whole EV sector, it is down from last month, obviously chip shortages, but I do think this is a strong positive for the overall EV sector. It's giving the EVs more credibility, more sustainability, and once you have more vehicles out there, you have to make more charging infrastructure, and that makes more people want to get these vehicles. So I do see this as a positive for all of these companies, but most especially in NIO. As far as the technical analysis, like I said in my last video, this level right here, this $34 level, was about $34.50 34.50 level is a key support level. This is where when we sold off, we bounced off of this, bounced again, and then I figured we were going to bounce again off the $34 level, but we did just flush through to $30.71 given all the bearish sentiment around the chip shortage and the EV sector as a whole right now. So I do see that as a slightly negative. So it is good that we did bounce today, but if you look at it, it is so small compared to the sell-off that we had. It's just tiny compared to the sell-off that we had. So we are only at $33.42 as of right now. We do need to get above this 34.50 mark to get our real support and baseline back out again. Other than that, we could be clear to go to around the $28 mark. That is our only next level of support. That is, where we consolidated out last time. So that is our only level of support as to the downside. And I really don't think we're going to go to that because that would put NIO at just a stupid, ridiculous, cheap price. But I do expect to go back above this 34.50 mark and then probably consolidate out and bounce around in between the 45 and the 34, but more or less probably in between the 34 and the $43 mark looks more reasonable until at least the chip shortage does go away, maybe high inflation fears go away, and all these other factors that are weighing on the market. But our upper end resistance level is going to be around $50, and then obviously the $66 mark, $63 mark, but I think it's going to be quite a while until we do test that level. That's why I don't have any short-term trades in NIO. All I have is the 2023 leaps because this could take a while. Like I said, I don't expect us to short squeeze or gap up anytime soon for that matter. But now let's take a look at what the analysts are thinking, if any of them have changed their mind and changed their price targets. Out of 22 analysts, they on average give NIO a buy, 22% being a strong buy, 40% being a buy, 27% being a hold, and 7% being underperformed, and 0 say to sell NIO. The average price target, $53.53. And as to why we have been selling off so hard as well, you guys know as well as I know, we don't have too much of an influence on a big company like NIO, or even in the crypto world, we don't have a big influence because there's so much money at play here. But out of the institutions, 663 institutions own NIO, and that is 549.04 million shares, and they own 33.51% of NIO. Actually, that's yeah, I did that right. 33.51%. Total shares outstanding, 1.64 billion. And you could see this is why we've been selling off, because decreased. We have 40.45 million shares that were decreased and 105 institutions that did decrease their holdings. Now, as increase 200 institutions increase for only 22.05 million. So, pretty much half of what decreased shares are at. And then new institutions, 94 for 5.10 million shares. And then completely sold out, almost 14 million shares in 81 institutions. So this is highlighting why we are selling off so much. Some institutions have been liquidating, and I mean, that's pretty common to see. A lot of people get scared when stocks start to go down. Even the big guys get scared and start to panic. So I wouldn't panic here. If you are holding NIO, I would just stay strong. This will come back and you will make a lot of money in the next 5 to 10 years. Now, this is probably the most important thing to highlight about this whole video, is that the NIO short interest is very, very high, guys. Out of the total market volume of 80,159,000 as of yesterday, the short volume was 20,310,000, coming out to 25% of the total market volume yesterday. 25% of all shares that were bought or sold were sold short. So if we didn't have this big short pressure on NIO, we would have absolutely went crazy today. Probably a 10% plus day, if not 15% plus day. But did come out at 25%. If we look past the past 10 days, we see 25%, 25, 21, 20, 20, 20, 21, 55, 21, and 26. And this is extremely elevated. And if you guys know anything about short interest or short volume ratio, this means that we are going to have a short squeeze. It is not if we are going to, it is when we are going to. This is absolutely incredible, and anything over 20% is extremely high. Anything over 10% is considered a bearish outlook on the company, right? Anything over 10%, anything over 20% is, you know, they're have a significant reason to short the company. And to be quite honest right now, it is easy with all the supply constraints and the chip shortages. It's easy to short these companies, and that is why they are doing it. But once they do get some good news and some of these pressures do subside, we are going to absolutely fly on NIO, especially if people do come in and start to buy the dip. So maybe this is one that, you know, people could get around. I know a lot of you guys do invest in NIO, and I do think it's a great time to pick up shares and cause the shorts to cover when more good news does get out, because come out, they will have to cover their shares. This is a stupid big amount, and these are big numbers. Of the total market volume in millions of shares, you're seeing, you know, 20 million shares shorted today, 28 million, 22 million, and this is definitely going to cause a squeeze. Now obviously I don't know when a short squeeze will happen, but it will definitely happen. We just need the supply constraints and the chip shortage pressure to come down a little bit. Once that does happen, we will have more room to fly here and cause the shorts to cover. Now with that being said, this is a little bit of an overview about what is going on with NIO recently, as well as NIO's deliveries and how they fared to other, you know, Tesla and the competition. But I do think there's going to be a short squeeze here, and I do think there's going to be a good trade. So if you guys want to be a part of that, hit the Patreon. The link will be on my page and down below in the description. You could support the channel there, and I will send out my buy and sell alerts and keep it very affordable for you guys, because I want to do this for you, because I already get the trades. If you want to be up on the trades as soon as I make them instead of post them in a video, you can do that. And this is going to be options, stock, crypto, just everything, trades for every move that I do make. So if you guys want to be a part of that, link in the description. I will see you guys later. Until next time, guys, I love you. Take care.